welcome, artists. So if you have a basic understanding of what one-point perspective and vanishing points are, this video is going to be a review of how to tackle today's exercise. If you're not familiar with one-point perspective, you might want to check out that short video to just recap. Okay? So first thing to do to start today's assignment, you're going to turn your paper or a sketchbook into landscape and bisect it with the horizontal line. Or you could print off the worksheet and work directly on it. Okay? Next, you're going to create a vanishing point. All right? And your vanishing point, of course, has to be on the horizon line because that is your eye level. And you can only see the world around you with the eyes you've got and that eye level. You can turn left, you can turn right to get different views, but your vanishing point's always going to be at the height of your eyes. All right? Now, let's feed two parallel lines to it. This is going to be our road. Now, we're going to talk about how scale and distance, or specifically how scale is affected by distance when you've got objects close to you and far away from you. This is going to cover the logic of just how small they get using one-point perspective. So say we've got that sort of median yellow line running down the road to divide the traffic lanes, right? So I can do this by hand, by running a line down the road to the vanishing point, or I can use a ruler. And that is true for everything in this exercise, right? Especially if you feel like your hands aren't too steady. Now, your yellow line, that might be a bit too generous. I don't know that any yellow line is that thick. A little more accurate, there we go. Now, the yellow line dividing the traffic lanes might start off conspicuously thicker in the foreground, but it's because it's tapering and getting smaller in the distance, which is accurate. The vanishing point is helping us to be consistent with that tapering. So when we divide the lines up in the highway, they get smaller and smaller in the distance, and we no longer need the guidelines, so you can erase them, okay? Now, that shrink is reinforcing atmospheric perspective, the idea that objects get tinier the further they move away from you. And let's say we were going to draw a cactus on the side of the road. Bam. Now, if it seems conspicuous that there's only one, and we want to give it a partner but further in distance, that is as easy as ensuring that we do so logically. We simply note the highest point in the object and the lowest point. And you could take a ruler and run a line from there to the vanishing point and from the top to the vanishing point. Now, if we choose any point along the way to place a cactus, either here or here, this guide is going to ensure that it shrinks accordingly. So say we wanted to put a cactus here, bam. It's only as tall as this line, and its base runs right along that seam that we've established. Now, this works for any object of comparable size, like another cactus, right? And you could even, if you found it odd that they were all on the same side of the road, move them over by just taking horizontal lines. Now, because we're just moving it over to the side of the road and not further closer or further into the distance, it's just going to move right along this horizontal setup. But if, say, we wanted to put it, say, halfway between this one and this one, well, we can reverse engineer. Now that we've got a little cactus here, right? Now that we've got a little cactus, we can do the same thing that we did here where we establish the tallest point and the lowest. Just run the line from the base to the vanishing point and the top to the vanishing point, but continue them. And if this is where we want to place it, bam. That's how tall the middle cactus will be, right? And when you look at it, it does help to suspend your disbelief by making it that much more believable, right? Let's check out how we get human beings, and even with consistent in the next video.